Thousands of primary schools have reopened across England today, with 3 year groups returning to the classroom for the first time since March.
Well, Alice Beer is at Bridgetown Primary School in Stratford-upon-Avon to find out about how the children are settling back in. Good morning to you, Alice. How are you getting on there?
Morning. Well, it's a beautiful day and there's been a really happy atmosphere here at Bridgetown Primary School, Stratford-upon-Avon, where the council agreed and the school agreed, everyone was happy that learning could recommence. So there's normally 400 children here at Bridgetown. 180 have been invited back from, as you said, those 3 year groups. And we were here earlier when they came in through the school gates for the first time since March. Take a little look at this. You'll see the children coming back. Everyone was happy, everyone returned, no tears, no tantrums. I tell you, actually, the tears were more likely to come from the parents were readjusting to being without their children. Some have said it was like first day at school. Now, we've got a camera in this Year 6 classroom, so I don't know if you can see what the camera is showing. That's Year 6 here with a camera on them. They all look perfectly happy. And we asked a couple of parents, one of whom's got a son in that class, to stay behind at the school gates. So, Rebecca, good morning to you. What kind of a weird drop-off was it this morning?
A little bit different to usual. You've got a few kids with masks on. There's not as many of them. It's all quite sort of regulated. But yeah, Conrad was happy to come in. He didn't even say goodbye.
Oh, didn't he? So Conrad's in here. He's Year 6. He's going off to secondary school in September.
Yes.
Did you have much of a dilemma about sending him back?
We talked about it as a family, and we all agreed that, you know, it'd be the best thing for him to come back today. There's definitely more benefits than not. So it wasn't really a difficult decision, no.
And he was happy to come?
Very happy.
And you were happy to say bye-bye?
I was, yeah.
You'll be running back for your coffee now.
I will be, absolutely.
And watching daytime television,
yes.
Obviously.
Of course.
Now, Beth, you dropped off Layla,
yes,
who's just 6.
Yes.
How was your drop-off this morning? Was it like first day at school all over again?
She actually went off probably the best she's gone off in nearly 2 years. She was so excited to come back today and see her friends. She walked straight through the school gate and didn't turn around. There was no waves or anything, so she went really, really well.
Okay, and are you nervous at all about keeping her safe, keeping her well, and you keeping safe and well?
I mean, there's always that thought and that concern at the back of my mind, but I trust the school, and the school would have opened or would have allowed them to come back had there have been any sort of concerns.
Yeah.
So I trust that she'll be fine. Yeah, and she's in the best place. She's here to learn. She's learning in a way that I haven't been able to provide for her for a long time. And as an only child, she's really needed to get some socialisation as well. Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Yes.
Well, let's have a peep and see how Year 6 are doing. Hang on, let's just stick my head in. Hello, Year 6!
Hello!
How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah? You all happy to be back?
Yeah.
Does it feel a bit strange?
Yeah.
A little bit, but better than parents homeschooling, yeah?
Yeah.
I should think so. Mrs. Swanwick, can we steal you a second? Let's steal Mrs. Swanwick and step back a bit. How does it feel for you?
It feels fine. It was a little bit nervous this morning, a bit like September all over again. Had a few sort of butterflies, but it's been really good this morning so far. Yeah, it's been really good.
Now, of course, you've been hugely supported by the schools. We've had unions saying, oh, no, it's too soon. They're too nervous about it. Some councils haven't allowed their schools to open. And now we've got today in the papers, the Children's Commissioner saying that children should be going back to school in the summer camps to help them catch up with learning. How confusing is it?
I think the important thing is to just start with where we are today. The children have come in today, they've been away from school for just over 10 weeks, and it's really important that they feel really secure in what they're doing today, and we'll think about the future as time progresses. But today they've come in, they've been really calm and collected. It was really quiet to start with, but we've done lots of warm-up activities, and we're all now chatting about what we've done over the last 10 weeks, and also taking a step forward, what we're going to be doing with our learning at school.
And when they first saw each other, did they all want to rush? Did you have to prise them apart?
You know what? No, they were really good with their social distancing. They were all standing there, sort of edging up where everybody was standing. And we've done a bit of talking about that this morning and where they're comfortable with me standing and how school's going to be over the next few weeks.
Brilliant.
and they seem to be really happy with it.
Oh, good. Well, I'll let you get back to teaching. You've
Thank
been
you.
apart from
I
them
know,
for so
I know,
long.
10 weeks without it, but
You
no.
go back in.
Okay.
Thank you, Year 6. So,
Thank you.
very strange scenario, but the teachers are happy, the pupils are happy. They just want to get back on with a normal school day, so whatever that looks like. So, we'll leave them to it.
Thanks,
Back to
Alice.
you, Phillip and Holly.
Thank you,
Thank you
Alice.
very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Well, as teachers and pupils try to adjust to their new way of working, there are some parents who are refusing to send their children back to school for fears for their safety. A study suggests that up to 46% of parents will keep their children at home today.
Well, one of those parents is mum of 2 and head of Net Mums, Anne-Marie O'Leary, who's decided not to send her daughter Florence back. Hi, Anne-Marie. Thank you very much for joining us today. So, obviously, the first question has to be, why did you decide this for your daughter? Why not to send her back?
It struck me immediately as soon as the announcement was made that it was just simply too soon. The death rate in the UK still wasn't low enough. The infection rate still wasn't low enough. And when I read the guidance that was issued, it didn't sound like the scientists were very confident in the recommendation that was being made. My daughter is also only 6 in year 1, and the thought of trying to get her to stay socially distanced from her classmates seemed impossible.
But looking at those, the teacher we just met there at Bridgetown and the pupils who were there, they were very good at their social distancing. There were lots of them didn't even say goodbye because they were happy to get back to school. I mean, they have to go back at some stage.
Oh, absolutely. Look, if I could have anything in the world, it would be that coronavirus would go away and that my children would be back at school right now. There is nowhere better for them to learn. I'm not a teacher. My husband's not a teacher. We're rubbish at it. It's very stressful trying to work alongside having kids at home. But we simply aren't there as a country yet in terms of coronavirus being at a low enough level for it to be safe, in my opinion.
And you also think that this move to get kids back to school is entirely motivated by the economy and wanting to get people back to work. And this policy actually wouldn't help you with that because it helps one child go back to school, but not necessarily the other children in your household.
Absolutely. So Florence has a brother who's in year 3 who isn't eligible to return, which wouldn't help us very much. And also, wraparound care isn't available. And my work hours are 8 till 4. So normally my children go to breakfast club. That wouldn't be available to us. So it's not a helpful thing.
And also, I suppose, because infection rates vary across the country, and we were hearing over the weekend that there will be local lockdown schemes should it flare up again, and that confuses the picture even more, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I live in London, where luckily infection rates have fallen quite dramatically, but I'm very aware that in other pockets of the country, they're kind of still reaching that first peak. I think if the guidance initially had said that there would be some aspect of kind of regionality, I think it might have been slightly easier to understand what the aim of everything was. But I just think with scientists especially coming out over the weekend as well saying that they disagree with schools reopening, I'm very glad that I made the decision I've made. And actually, when we surveyed Net Mums users, 74% of them said they would keep their children home today as well. So I know I'm not alone.
So no provisions for different communities, different places, no provisions for different communities. A study by the Office of National Statistics published on the 7th of May found that black men and women are 4 times more likely to die of coronavirus than white men and women, and other BAME groups are also more likely to die of coronavirus. You don't feel like this has been taken into consideration either?
No. So when I first got the report to check the guidance that they based reopening schools on, I quickly flicked to the section about BAME community members, and there was basically, I think, like 2 sentences in there about that just said, oh, we don't really have enough information yet. I just don't think that's good enough. I don't think we can have confidence in the science until the concept of it affecting different communities differently is acknowledged and guidance to those people is given. Florence's teacher is a young black woman. If anything happened to her because we all flooded back into school, I don't know how any of us would live with ourselves. This isn't necessarily my concern just about Florence. This is my concern about my community, my wider family, my neighbours, and my country. I don't want to be part of something that's going to harm anybody.
And so what will satisfy you then? What are the provisions that we will have to meet that will enable you to feel confident enough to send Florence to school?
I think, along with the scientists, I would agree that what we need is a robust and fully operational track and trace system in place so that any further serious outbreaks of coronavirus can be adequately contained and areas locked down if needs be. We just simply don't have that in place yet, and the infection rate is still too high.
All right, Anne-Marie,
All right, thank you. Lovely to talk to you today.